A new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padre gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padre gang. Yeah, that.
And good day, everybody. Welcome to May 8th, 2022's Talking Friars Padres versus Marlins pregame show. I am Ben Fadden, your host. Thank you so much for watching live or on replay on the Talking Friars YouTube channel. Padres last night lost a bad one, 8-0. It was the first time that they were shut out all season long. The pitching from the Marlins, starting with Pablo Lopez for 8 of the 9 innings, was great. The closer was good. Well, it wasn't a closer. It was a blowout, but the guy that pitched last was good. And then on the other side of things, Sean Manaea, he gave up those 3 runs. He wasn't bad. He did strike out, I think, 8. He wasn't terrible, but when you're facing Pablo Lopez and your offense is pretty much 4 hitters at the top of the order and then nothing, it's hard to win. And so it's not really surprising that the Padres lost, but it still is disappointing. And I'll definitely get to more on that game, more on the whole series on today's live episode of the Talking Friars podcast and YouTube show after the game. Again, this is the pregame show for May 8, 2022. The Marlins enter today's matchup, which starts at 1:10 p.m. Pacific time at Petco Park with a 13-14 record. The Padres are 18-10. You can follow the Talking Friars Twitter account at Talking Friars on Instagram as well and TikTok for Padres highlights, for announcements when episodes are out if you're not watching live. I hope you subscribe to this YouTube channel as well and turn on those post notifications, that notification bell, so you don't miss a video, you don't miss when the content is put out. Daily Padres content every single day during the season, and a lot of the time during the offseason as well. I was posting a lot during the offseason. Again, Ben Fadden with you. 8-0 was the score last night. Padres were 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. I'm not even want to focus on the 0-4 in the 0 for 3. I want to focus on the 3. You only have 3 runners in scoring position. You got to do a lot better than that. You only have 3 runners in scoring position. There's no home runs. It's hard to win, and it goes back to the point of having, 4 hitters at the top of the lineup, and then there's not a whole lot of production after that. And it's pretty much the same thing today. I mean, Austin Nola's in there in the 5-hole when it's been Profar. Trace Thompson's in there in right field with Profar DHing today. We'll get to the lineup, but it's pretty much the top 4, and then after that, you hope that some run production can happen. Yesterday, Luke Voigt kind of, in El Paso. We're moving over to El Paso for a little bit here, talking about Luke Voigt. And I'll definitely discuss this on the episode tonight. 0 for 5 last night, 5 strikeouts in El Paso, or for El Paso. He has not gotten a hit yet in any of his rehab games for the Chihuahuas. I looked this up this morning, his maximum rehab stint is 20 days. So I believe he has about 15 days left before I think the Padres would have to not just keep him in the minors as a rehab assignment, but they'd have to officially announce that they're optioning him to the minor leagues. And I believe I can look on a site real quick if my Wi-Fi wants to work. Looking how many options he has left. 2. He has 2 options left. He's over 3 years of service time, 2 options left. And so I guess he has, he's working back from the biceps injury, but I mean, he's trying to switch up his swing, something in his swing. I have no idea. It's just not working right now. And it wasn't working when he was healthy, and it's not working now. And when you struck out, I think 9 times in a row now in AAA, in the minor leagues, it's not very encouraging at all. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know in terms of being 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts last night, being terrible. But for those who don't know, I mean, he still has not gotten a hit yet in AAA. So those are some notes, or just one note. And then what happened last night. Again, today, 1:10 p.m. Pacific time is the first pitch. Padres are in second place in the National League West, a game and a half back. And the Marlins are in second place in the National League East, 5.5 games back. The Mets are in action against the Phillies right now, so they are playing. So we'll see if the Mets end up gaining a game. I know the Phillies have the lead right now. Bryce Harper is owning Max Scherzer pretty much right now. And Bryce Harper is one of my favorite players, so I'm not mad about it. All right, the pitching matchup today. Trevor Rogers on the mound for the Marlins. Joe Musgrove on the mound for the Padres. This is the bright spot. You got shut out yesterday, but in terms of the pitching matchup yesterday, okay, Pablo Lopez, probably the best starting pitcher in the National League right now. Okay, you're fine losing that game. I mean, you're fine losing the game if you played okay, You didn't give up 8 runs. Well, you gave up 8 runs, and so that last night's loss wasn't really okay. You might have been expecting to lose, but losing by 8 runs, that's not great. But the good news for the Padres here is they have the favorable pitching matchup today. I mean, Manaea, Lopez was the favorite. He was favored there, in my opinion. But Trevor Rogers, no relation to Taylor Rogers, I don't believe. He has a 6+ ERA right now. He's allowed 5 runs, or he did allow 5 runs in his last start. He gave up 7 runs in his second start of the season. So there's been a couple times where he's really struggled and given up a lot of runs and starts. Will this be another time? Will the Padres make it a third start this year where a crooked number is put up against him? We'll see. The lineup last night, or not the lineup, the offense was not encouraging last night. It hasn't been encouraging the whole series. They combined for 5 runs in the first 3 games. But if there's one guy that they can hit off of, I mean, you really hope that it's Trevor Rogers, who only has 18 strikeouts, so he has almost half the strikeouts as Musgrove. No Padres faced Trevor Rogers yet, and Trevor Rogers is a lefty, so it's a good righty lineup for the Padres. Kim, Manny, Nola, Profar because he's a switch hitter, Thompson, and then Azokar. So you got a lot of righties in that lineup, just like you had a lot of lefties yesterday. Obviously, that didn't matter, but that's what we're looking at on the Miami side. And then Joe Musgrove, I mean, really, really, really good what we've seen out of him so far this year. He has not allowed more than 2 runs this year in any start. His last start against Pittsburgh, he allowed 1 run, I believe. He went 7 innings. Quality starts. And, I mean, I was looking at these stats last night after last night's game because I just wanted to totally move forward to today's game. I just didn't want to think about last night very much after I did my post-game reaction video. But looking at Musgrove, his walk to strikeout ratio is 2-33. So 2 walks this season, 33 strikeouts in 32 innings. Just really, really, really good. Musgrove's last start, 7 innings, 1 earned run, no walks, struck out 8. I know he's facing the Pirates, but even against like Atlanta earlier this year, who's a better lineup than Miami, he went 6 2/3, didn't give up a run. So it's not like he's pitching amazing against bad teams and then pitching not great against good teams. He's pitching good all around. His worst start was the first start of the season, maybe against the Diamondbacks when he went 6 innings. That was tied for his shortest start, 2 earned runs, and he gave up a home run. But he struck out 8. So you could say it's a Cincinnati start on April 26th where he went 6 innings, 2 runs. He walked 1, so we only have 2 walks, and one of those is there. Okay, maybe that game. And he struck out half as many batters as he did on April 9th. So I guess you could say the Cincinnati game was his worst one. But even then, quality start, 6 innings, 2 runs. Gave up less than 3 runs. I'll take that every day. So based on not the circumstances, just based on how Musgrove has pitched this season and the expectations it seems like we're building on him every start, you got to expect from him to go 6 innings and have a quality start because he's done it every single start this season. So that's the encouraging thing out of the Padres, at least the outlook going into this game, is that they definitely have the favorable pitching matchup. That's pretty apparent. All right. Shall we move on to the bullpen situation? Let's do that. All right, so here's the bullpen situation for today. Ray Kerr, Nelson Lamet, and Nabil Chrismat pitched yesterday. The game was 8-0, so you didn't need to use Rogers or Garcia or Wilson or Suarez. Lamet, I'm going to be talking about him on the episode later tonight. That game yesterday sucked, and it's pretty sad seeing how he's pitching right now compared to 2020, but I'll get into that later tonight. Ray Kerr, 14 pitches yesterday, back-to-back 14-pitch days. He didn't pitch the 14 pitches on May 6th in the big leagues. That was in El Paso, but he pitched 14 yesterday. Gave up that grand slam. That pitch I thought was good. Did it hit his spot perfectly? No, but it was the same height where the catcher wanted it last night. Down in the strike zone, and Alfaro just golfed it out. Kerr, that pitch was not high in velocity, so Soler was able to sit on it and hit it out. So I'm not too mad about that. Lamet put Kerr into the situation anyway with the multiple base runners coming into the game. I know he walked a guy, right? He walked a guy and then gave up a home run. But it's not like he came in a total clean situation. So he's down for today. I expect Lamet to be down for today just because he literally doesn't have a role, not even to mention the 24 pitches, but you want to pitch him in any high-leverage situation today with the series win on the line? No. Chris Matt, probably not because Musgrove's on the mound. A quality start, you don't need Chris Matt to come in the 7th, 8th, or 9th because you have Rogers on 2 days rest, Garcia on 2 days rest, Wilson and Suarez on a day's rest. So, Stammen hasn't pitched in a while. There's no need to have Chris Matt pitch on back-to-back days. You got the Chicago series coming up, and then you got a long road trip with the Braves, Brewers, Giants. No, Brewers is when we come home. Giants, Phillies. So you'll definitely probably use him on the road trip. But that's the bullpen situation for today. I think the big four, Rogers, Garcia, Wilson, Suarez, they should all be available today. And Kerr, Lamet, and Chris Matt, I would expect to be down. That would be my gut reaction just going into it today. As for the lineup for the Padres, the Marlins is not out as of now. Reload the page to see if it is. No, it's not. Okay. So the top four is the same. Cronenworth, Kim, Manny, Hosmer. That's been the same for pretty much this series, right? Or since Friday's game. And then Nola catching in place of Alfaro today. Well, Nola's a starting catcher, but he's catching and Alfaro's not. Profar DHing, so in left field, it's going to be Jose Azocar. Matt Beatty came out of yesterday's game with a shoulder injury. No update on that yet, but not in the lineup as expected. Not even hitting that well, so it's not like he deserves to be in the lineup. So 5 through 9, Nola, Profar, Grisham, Thompson, and Azocar. Grisham still seems lost. He had a big situation in the first, and he popped out. That was their biggest chance off of Pablo Lopez. Lopez had that high pitch count in the first inning, and then he settled down. And, of course, he ends up going 8 innings. Profar in the DH spot, hitting 6 today, hitting 167. He has really, really struggled in the last, week or so. The one hit that he's had, right, was that check swing double down the left field line against Cleveland. And then you got Trace Thompson. Hopefully he can get something going. He hasn't really done anything since that, Friday Pittsburgh game. Breaking news, Luke Voigt is back with the Padres. Doesn't mean a return is imminent. Here to do some work with major league coaches. All right, so my takeaway from that breaking news, Kevin Acee just tweeted that out, is that if he's returning and he's working with major league coaches after not having a hit in the minor leagues, it's going to be a long time, I think, or a significant time before we see Luke Voigt at the major league level. I think that if you haven't got a hit in the minor leagues and you have to come back to work with the major league coaches, I'm not expecting him to just be activated. They're not going to activate him when he's just striked out 9 times in a row. That's not going to happen. He's working with the major league coaches and coming back to San Diego so that those coaches can actually work with him on his swing and say, hey, dude, you need to work on this. You're striking out all the time. Let's fix this, and then we'll send you back for another rehab assignment or just option you for a little bit. Or if we don't want to use that option, take some at-bats off of Ray Kerr or something, or off of a pitching machine up here at the big league level, and we can continue to work with you. And let's see if we can get some progress before we just put you in the minor leagues again and waste rehab games. I don't know how that works. I know there's 20 max days, but if you send them back to the big league club, but you don't activate them, does the rehab assignment pause? So that's my initial reaction on the Luke Voigt news. That is the Padres lineup for today as well. Just checking if there's anything else. Nope. Okay. All right. So what to watch for today for me? I mean, the Padres have to score runs off their starter. You're facing a guy with a 6+ ERA. Will they score some runs? Will the bottom half of the lineup do anything? And then can Joe Musgrove continue to virtually not walk anyone? He's walked 2 guys this whole season, 33 strikeouts and 32 innings. If he doesn't walk anyone, well, that sets you up for less free passes, obviously, less pitches, and you can go deeper into the game. And the Padres would prefer that with a 3-game series, 3 more games to go before their next off day, I believe, against the Chicago Cubs to finish off this homestand. So those are my 2 what to watch for today. My Padre pick, last night I picked Jake Cronenworth. He went 1 for 4. I'm 17-10 now so far this season in my pregame show Padre pick. Today I'm going to go Manny Machado facing a starter who has struggled this year, a lefty starter. Manny, the best hitter on the team, going up, and he's a righty, so the left-right matchup, that seems like the obvious pick. And Manny, he's getting a hit in like every game right now. He's pretty hot, so that seems like the obvious choice for my Padre pick for today. All right, let's go through some comments. Irie, got to see these guys today. Got to get these guys today. Yep, I agree. Have to win this one. I agree. We need a reliable leadoff and have Fernando in the 2-hole. Trade deadline goals. I mean, I think that's really far away to be saying that. I think Fernando, when he comes back, he'll probably will be hitting leadoff, so you can put Cronenworth back hitting second, and then you have Manny hitting third, and so you start off right, left, right. There's no back-to-back righties or back-to-back lefties there. I think Fernando is more comfortable in the leadoff hole, just be himself. Is that the best in terms of driving in runs? No, but you hope by the time he comes back, there's going to be at least some production in that bottom of the lineup. That's what I would think. That's what I would hope for. Irie says, move Martinez to the bullpen, long relief. Pierce will come back. Tim Hill will get a little better. We just need a speedy outfielder that can hit for average. Well, the second half of that, the speedy outfielder that can hit for average, you're asking for a lot. Grisham, he has some speed, but he's not hitting for average. Manuel Margot is not on the team anymore, and he just hit a grand slam yesterday. I mean, of course. Moving Martinez, though, to the bullpen and long relief, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when, right? They have the 6-man rotation through this homestand, so Martinez is probably going to pitch on Wednesday, the series finale against Chicago. And then will he be out of the rotation then? They go back to a 5-man, a 5-man, and then they have Snell come back. And then do they go with a 6-man there, or do they have Gore piggyback, or what's the situation there, Those are all going to be answered, but I think Martinez is a guarantee to be long relief in the bullpen when Snell comes back. It's going to happen. Pierce will come back. Tim Hill will get a little better. As for those 2 points there, Irie, I don't know about Tim will get a little – I mean, I guess, a little better, but he is on the IL right now, so that's a long way away, a couple weeks away from even talking about that. He's probably going to go on a rehab assignment as well. Pierce coming back, yeah, I don't know if there's any timeline on when he's going to come back. I haven't heard anything. So a lot of those things that you mentioned there, we're going to have to wait to see on that. I think Luke Voigt should be in the lineup if Profar, Grisham, Nola, and Thompson are all. Are you talking about right now? Xochitl, I think that's how you say your name. Because I understand your point, but Luke Voigt has struck out 9 times in a row in El Paso. He's hurt. I mean, well, maybe he's not hurt now, but he's coming off a biceps injury. At least Profar's hitting, making contact, right? Grisham, Nola, and Thompson, those are the only options. Where with Voigt, they have more options for first base 1 with Cronenworth and Hosmer, and then DH, they can just use Alfaro if they want to. They can make that as a rotating rest day like they've been a little bit this series with Profar DHing today and Manny DHing yesterday. So Luke Voigt, do you want him in the lineup right now? I mean, I'd probably argue no, just the way that he's hitting. He just can't find it right now. Now, there are some guys in the lineup, I agree with your point, that there's some guys that also haven't found it, but those are the only options for them to, at those positions. Those are the only options there. So they have to play them. They're not coming, those guys aren't hurt at least as we know, and they haven't struck out 9 times in a row against AAA players. Turbo says, ready to DFA Lamet, like I've said. I can explain. I don't think you have to explain. We'll get to that in the episode tonight. I'll wait for my thoughts on that until tonight. But it's a valid point the way that he's pitching right now. Yeah. Xochitl, yeah. 9 strikeouts in a row. Hopefully he can return to his 2020 Yankee form. I mean, that was kind of like Hosmer and Myers in that season. It was a 2-month season. Yeah. Did he lead? Sochi. My bad. Okay. All right. Good to know. 2020 Yankee form for Voigt. It was a 2-month season. Cool. He led the league in home runs, but it was 2 months. Was he going to do that the whole season? Was he going to stay healthy the whole season? Those questions aren't going to be answered ever in pertains to the 2020 season. But he's already hurt this year. He's been hurt, and he's striking out a lot. It's hard to say that he's going to return to 2020 form. He might return to it in literally in terms of being on fire for 2 months, but that's not what a Major League Baseball season is now. It's not 2 months. That was a outlier. That was COVID. It's 6 months. That's a long time for a guy that is known for striking out a lot, for a guy that's been hurt a lot of his Yankee career. I don't know if he was hurt as much with the Cardinals, but he did not. He didn't have a coming out party with the Cardinals like he did with the Yankees. I agree with that. To answer that, you hope that he returns to 2020 form, but I just don't see that happening unless it's for a literally 2-month span like it was in 2020. All right, let's do some MLB news and notes real quick. Okay, so AJ Cassavell saying that Luke Voigt is here. He'll get some live at-bats and work with the big league staff over the next few days. The biceps issue has basically subsided. Voigt says now it's about finding his timing again. Oh, I got to see the rest of the tweet. Oh, Voigt should be back for the upcoming road trip. See, that's interesting. So he doesn't get a hit in his rehab assignment. It's clear his timing's off. They can still keep him in the minor leagues for a few more games, but instead they decide to bring him to San Diego and take live at-bats over the next few days. So they think that it's going to change and get better over the next few days and then have him back for the road trip starting on, Friday in Atlanta? I mean, that seems like a little bit of a stretch. He might be ready in terms of healthy and taking at-bats like he was in AAA, but I mean, I would have liked him to be in AAA and get some hits or, make contact. He didn't even do that. So that's a little surprising. All right, some MLB notes. Bryce Harper, my guy, he's already hit a home run on Mother's Day. 3-2 Phillies right now in the 6th. The Red Sox are losing again. Man, they suck right now. Yankees are finally underway after 2 days off. As for the division in the National League West, those games don't get started till later today. St. Louis and San Francisco at 1:05. Colorado and the Diamondbacks at 1:10, same time as our game. And then Dodgers are in Sunday Night Baseball against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. Dodgers are 18-7. The Cubs are 9-17. So that's kind of what's happening around the league for today. Yeah, you're right, Sochi. Yeah, that the Cubs is a very sweepable series. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, the Cubs. The good thing for the Padres is they're missing Marcus Stroman. Stroman's pitching tonight against Walker Buehler for Sunday Night Baseball. So that's the good news. I haven't looked. I'll preview the Chicago series tonight. I haven't looked at who else or who the Padres would be facing, but we got Musgrove today, so it'll be Gore, Clevenger, and Martinez for these 3 games against the Cubs. That'll do. I mean, they should be favored in all of those, especially how not good the Cubs are right now. All right, this will do it. May 8, 2022, Padres Marlins pregame show. I'm Ben Fadden. I'll see you after the game at the post-game reaction video and then a live episode a little bit after that as well. So this has been the pregame show. Enjoy the game, everyone. Have a happy Mother's Day, and I'll see you later.